Now that we have our permissions table set up and we have a working modal, I want to change this up so that we are listing this by latest. So the most recent will be listed from the top to the bottom in the table. And I also want to change this modal up a little bit. I want to make it a little bit more centered just for stylistic purposes. Let's go ahead and take care of that. In here, we're going to go ahead to the permission controller. And instead of all here, I'm going to change this to latest. And then it'll be get. That'll change the order in which the permissions are listed. Then I want to go over to the permissions index. And if we come down to form, right up here, where we have modal dialog-LG, I'm going to add modal dialog centered. Let's see what that looks like. That's pretty much the same. I'm going to refresh that. And as you can see, now it's being listed from the newest to the oldest. Today, what I want to really work on is the update and the delete. So we'll deal with the update first. What I want to do with the update is I want to be able to click edit. We'll have a modal that pops up with all of the information for that particular permission. And then we can go ahead, edit it, send it back to the database, and everything should work accordingly. Now, what I want to do is I want to use the same modal that we have for create so that we don't have to have two separate modals. Let's go ahead and leverage view to be able to do this for us. So really, what does that mean? Well, in our form, we have a title of created permission here, which is something that we can extract into a computed property. So based on what we click, we'll determine whatever this title is. We can do the same for the imports and replace the different V models for whatever is either if there is a permission or if there's nothing there. And we can also do the same thing for the button. So before we do that, what I want to do is I want to make sure that we have these permissions in our table, the ones that we're looping over. I want to make sure that we have access to this in the modal. So let's go ahead to the web routes. And I'm going to create another one where I'm going to call it patch. And instead of admin permissions like this, I am going to do a slash and I'm going to type in permissions or permission. And we're going to leverage root model binding, which just means that Laravel will be clever enough to know that when we put permission there, it's actually looking for a specific permission model that it's looking for. That's all that is. Then I want to change this function to be patch or update. Save that, and then we'll go to the permission controller and work on that. So our update should be right here. Instead of string here, I'm going to put permission for our permission model and permission as the variable. And that's how we'll be able to tackle this. From this perspective, the only thing that I want to do for now is just to die and dump the permission so that when we do eventually hit this route, we'll see whatever permission it is that we're passing through, just to make sure that we're getting the correct information. So let's head over to the permissions index. And I want to use the computed properties from view. And I also want to use the ref. I'm also going to change this define props to be a constant. For this, we'll just call it props. So let's have that set up there. Then here I'm going to type in ID, and ID we're going to pass in as an empty string. And then under this form here, I'm going to create two variables. One is going to be edited index. And what this will allow us to do is to figure out where we are within the table to identify which is the permission that we're tackling. That's all that is. Then I want to create another one called edit mode. And I'm going to set that to an initial value of false. Now, what is edit mode? Edit mode will be able to check whether or not we're in create mode or we're in edit mode. And this will determine what values we can use throughout the different functions. So let's go ahead and create some computed properties so that we can manipulate it throughout the template. The first one is going to be form title. And this form title, all we're going to do is return the edited index value. And we're going to say if it is equal to -1, then we'll return create new permission. If it's not, then we'll return edit current permission. Basically, if the edited index value equals -1, then we're going to have a title of create new permission. If it isn't, then it's going to say edit current permission. As of now, we're using the jQuery within the template to create the permission. And this is something that we can actually handle in a function. So what I want to do is I want to change this to, why is that button? I had that as button the whole time and you guys didn't tell me. Okay, so data model, data target, that's fine. But what we are going to do is we're going to say at click prevent equals open modal. So now what we can do is create this function in our script to access the info to trigger the model to open, so that we'll be using it really from the script instead of using it from that button. My computed properties are there. I'm going to create another function. And this one is going to be open modal. And then for this open modal, I am going to basically just use this one here. But we're going to do the reverse of it, which is going to be show. We'll leave it at that. Then we are going to create another one. I also want to create a close modal function so that we can open and close it using the button and having access to it in view. That means that here, I'm going to go ahead, copy this, paste it. Here will be close modal. This I'll change to hide. And now in the function here, instead of doing this like how we have it here, we can just call the close modal function. And that should work the same. Let's go and make sure that those functions are still working with the slight changes that we made for what we have now. First, we should be able to create, and let's try to create something really quick, and it should also close it, and it has, and this is the new one we just created. So for now, everything is working as it should. Let's go ahead and change the title up here. So we should be able to go down to where our form is, and now we should be able to change this in here using our new computed property of form title. And with this button here, this is our close modal. We can add that new function that we just created. We should also be able to use this on that button at the bottom of the form. Right here where it is closing, it's the cancel button. Paste that in, close modal, all that should be good. Okay, cool. So we know that those functions work, right? Let's go and make some other changes. In our table, we are looping over permissions, but we just changed that a little while ago to props.permissions. So that's one. Two, we have an edit button here, which we can change. We'll create the function in a minute, but for now we'll add the functionality. So I want to put at click, let me move this over a bit, at click dot prevent equals, and I want to call this one open edit. Not only are we going to open edit, we need to tell it which one we want. We'll put item in there since that's what we're looping over. So let's go up top, create that function. Where do I want to put it? I want to put it, I'll put it under here. In open edit, we just passed in the item, so I'll pass it in here as well. And what do we want to do? Well, we want to make sure that this modal is open. And then we also want to check if the edited index dot value equals props permissions index of the item. We're going to say that edited index value, whatever this edited index value that we have of -1 will be whatever the indexed item is. So when we click it, that'll push it into that value. Then we also want to say that edit mode value equals true. And for right now, let's just leave that the way it is. When we click that button, then we should be getting these values. So I'm going to save this. We're going to go to the browser and we're going to check just to see that these values are what they're supposed to be. Let's go ahead and open up the console, and I want to open up my View Dev Tools. If you don't have these are really helpful to have. And let me see if I can make them a bit bigger. Go to index, move this up. So we have edited mode false, edited index -1, and let's go ahead and click one of these. That is the third value. It is true. So edit mode is true, which means the title is edit current permission and the edited index is 3, right? So it's not -1 as the tertiary function that we set up. We have that. Let's go ahead and work on these buttons and also work on our check mode computed properties. Under form title, I'm going to create another one called button text. I'll say that that's equal computed. And I'm going to copy this one. So again, if the index value equals -1, then that button will say create. If not, it will say, I'm going to change it to update. Now we can go ahead and change that button in our form to button text. So it'll be the one, should be at the bottom here. So this one is going to be button text. We have our computer properties pretty much already set. We're going to try to open it and then we're going to try to send it to the backend, but we do need a function. I'm going to go ahead and create a function and I'm going to call it, let's see, I'm going to copy this one. And I'm going to call it edit permission. This is going to be a patch. It'll be route admin. The one that we created was store or update. We're going to pass in the form ID, preserve scroll, and then close modal. So cool. So we have a function. Now, what do we do with that function? Well, we have some options here. Our form right now is at create permission, but we want to use this modal to be either for create or update. So we can't have just create permission here. We can go ahead and create another computer property. And that computer property can be check mode. And in this one, I'm going to copy this one. And then we're going to say if the edited index value equals false, meaning there's nothing in the value, then our function will be create permission. I'm going to put some parentheses after that. And if not, it'll be update or edit permission. That'll be that. We're going to be able to check the mode. If the edited index value is false, there's nothing in it. And the function that we can use is create permission. If it's not, then it'll be edit permission. Let's go ahead and use this check mode now. We'll use it in our form, and we're going to go ahead and add it to here. I'm just going to save this really quick. We're going to take a look and see if we've broken anything, and then we'll fill in all of the little scattered holes that we have. So we'll go ahead, create, and as you can see, it's empty, but we have our title here, it's empty here, and we have our create button. If I open up the edit modal, we have edit current permission. Nothing is in here the way that it should be, right? But we do have our updated button here. So let's go and see what's going on with this form. Well, as you know, our form already has these V models. We have the form display name, the slug, the description, all that jazz. If we go up, we have an open edit function here. So what's happening is, even though we know which permission it is, we don't have the values for that in here. So what I want to do is I want to take this, I want to do form ID, because the form ID is what we're passing in to our edit permission. So I want to do our form ID, and then I want to say that that equals the item ID. That's the ID that we're getting from the permission into the modal. Same thing with display name. And the last one is description. Let's just check that before we do anything else. We have create, everything is empty. We have edit, and now we have our information coming in from the server. This is what our permission is supposed to have: the display name, the slug, and the description. Let's go ahead and deal with being able to update this permission by hitting the controller in the backend. So we should be able to do this. We'll make some changes to it. Click update. Now we're hitting the controller in the backend, and let's see what we're getting. This is the original information because we haven't actually changed anything yet. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead to the permission controller, and I'm going to grab the same function that we have here. It's essentially going to be the same. I'll copy that, and I'm going to paste it here. And instead of permission create, it's going to be permission update to admin permissions index. Let's go ahead and save it. Go ahead, refresh, and I can close this now. So we have this here. This is what we have originally. We'll go ahead and change it. Update. And it's been changed. If you go ahead and refresh it, the information still persists. Good. Now, something to note. We'll go ahead, click edit. Yes, it has that information in there. But if we click create now, we still have that information in there. Let's go and fix this little bit of a bug. Well, it's not actually a bug. What it is, permission index. What it is that when we're closing the modal, we're not actually doing anything else, but we have changed some values here when we've opened the edit that affects that modal. Because in the open modal, we don't have anything that we're putting in there. Everything is blank, but in the open edit, we do, and we're not clearing it. What we can do is, let's say, I'm going to just copy these three and we'll change them. Yes, we can go ahead, hide the modal, fine. Our edited index value should no longer have a value. This value is something that we can just change to false. The edited index value, we can set it back to -1. And then instead of ID here, we can have reset, because this is something that is coming through the inertia use form. This is one of the things that we can use to kind of be like a helper to clear out the form. We can do a form reset, clear that out, and be done with it. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And now let's try it. So we'll go ahead, we'll click create, nothing here, fine. We'll click edit, something's here. We're going to change it. Update, it's been changed here. We go to create, now it's empty. We come back here, now it has the current permission. We go back to create, because everything is happening when we close that modal. We're just clearing and refreshing everything one time so that it's gone. Then we can put in information, or we can have it blank information, whatever it is. And that's how we're able to leverage those little functions that we made today. The other thing that I want to do today is I want to go ahead and delete these permissions. We should be able to delete them. So let's go and start with the route. So if we come back here, and we go to our web routes, it's really easy. We're just going to copy paste this one. This is going to be delete. That all can stay the same. And now the function itself will just be destroy. We'll save that. Permission controller. And we'll come down to the bottom here. This one is going to be really easy as well. We can do the same thing with our permissions that we did up here. I'm just going to grab this so we can have that root model binding. And this one is just permission delete. Then I can also come up here and grab this. Have that be that, and then we'll go and take care of that in the index page. So here I can just grab this, paste it, and then instead of edit, it'll be delete. I'm going to put item in here. This will be item ID. The form will be delete. And the function will be destroy. So on preserve scroll true, and on success, I'm going to get rid of this. We're going to put in sweet alert, but I'm not going to do it today. What I'll do is we'll just for now say alert deleted. Let's go and add that to the table. So in here, we'll be able to do right in this delete button. I'm going to use this function because it's pretty much the same thing, just with some changes. This will be delete permission. Let's go and see if that works. We should be able to delete. No, I know what it is. If we go to console, is not in the route list. Okay, let's see what that's about. Should be the correct function. Destroy. I don't know what I did here. Let's get rid of this extra. Let's try it again. Deleted. And it's gone. Refresh. Cool, so we still only have 10. I can close this. Let's try to delete another one. Very cool. Let's go ahead, try the whole thing. We'll try to create. Patch is not supported for. Okay, let's go see what I messed up. Come here, go to permissions index. Delete, edit, create. Make sure I have my function set correct. Let's see something. I'm going to open up the View Dev Tools just so that I can see what we're getting from here. Oh, okay. I see what's going on. For some reason, it's hitting that function. So let's take a look. If we come back here, it looks like I put this incorrectly. Edited index value equals false. This should actually be edit mode. Let me go ahead and change that. Edit right here. Well, the issue is that in our check mode here, I have them. It's a computed property and it's asking to basically run the function. So I don't want to do that. I'm just going to go ahead, take those parentheses off, and we should be good. Let's go back to the browser. And I accidentally was testing something and I deleted our function here. So I'm just going to go ahead, delete this, and I'm going to make sure that we're refreshed. We'll go ahead, create one. Go ahead, create. And let me open up the inspect tools again, just so that we can see what's going on with our inertia. Oh, not inertia, our index. And we're on check mode here now, but let's go ahead and edit this. Okay, that's what it is. We also don't have validation, which is why I accidentally deleted whatever it was. We'll take care of that soon, but for now, just know that that's all that is. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Open this back up. And this is where I ran into that error before. Let's just make sure that we're not getting it anymore. And it looks like we're good. Looks like we're good. It's still set to create permission, so it's not calling for that function. It's not calling for any of the functions just yet, but it is basically ready to go. If we run into any issues, we'll fix it later, but for now it should be working okay for us. If you're enjoying the content, please go ahead and click that like button as it really does help out the channel. Here's a video YouTube thinks you'll like, and here's a playlist to follow along. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.